finished a new story, threatened with extinction on those days I did not write. The only answer then was, write. I have written every day of my life since my 12th year. Death has not caught me yet. He will, eventually, of course, but for the time being the sound of my IBM Wheelwriter No. 10 electric typewriter puts him off his feed. There you have the noon at midnight platform for writing life. Once established hiding behind the towering bastion of my IBM machine, I hurled fireballs at the dark presence, daring him to try again. The contest has resulted in all that you will read here. The small assassin is, of course, me. The homecoming family is my Waukegan hometown family, surrounding me in my youth, prolonging themselves into shadows and haunts when I reached maturity. Skeleton resulted from my discovering the bones within my flesh, plus seeing the pale skull ghost of myself in an X-ray film. Uncle Einar is a love story. I so loved my favorite loud, brash Swedish uncle that I named and wrote a story about him, adding wings. The next in line recites my terror of being trapped in Mexico in a corridor of mummies I hope to never see again. The jar was a display I witnessed at a seaside carnival when I was 14, a whole series of jars in which mysterious objects floated, haunted me for years until I wrote about them. Finally, on the threshold of puberty, Mr. Electrico, the carnival magician, summoned me away from graveyards and funerals, touched me with the St. Elmo's fire sword, and shouted sound advice. Live forever. I did just that. And here I am, and here it is, the October country. I bid you welcome. Ray Bradbury, Los Angeles, California, January 1999. October country. That country where it is always turning late in the year. That country where the hills are fog and the rivers are mist. Where noons go quickly, dusks and twilights linger, and midnights stay. That country composed in the main of cellars, sub-cellars, coal bins, closets, attics, and pantries faced away from the sun. That country whose people are autumn people, thinking only autumn thoughts, whose people passing at night on the empty walks sound like rain. The dwarf. Amy watched the sky quietly. Tonight was one of those motionless, hot summer nights. The concrete pier empty, the strung red, white, and yellow bulbs burning like insects in the air above the wooden emptiness. The managers of the various carnival pitches stood, like melting wax dummies, eyes staring blindly, not talking, all down the line. 2 customers had passed through an hour before. Those 2 lonely people were now on the roller coaster, screaming murderously as it plummeted down the blazing night, around one emptiness after another. Amy moved slowly across the Strand, a few worn wooden hoopla rings sticking to her wet hands. She stopped behind the ticket booth that fronted the mirror maze. She saw herself grossly misrepresented in 3 rippled mirrors outside the maze, 1,000 tired replicas of herself dissolved in the corridor beyond, hot images among so much clear coolness. She stepped inside the ticket booth and stood looking a long while at Ralph Banghart's thin neck. He clenched an unlit cigar between his long, uneven yellow teeth as he laid out a battered game of solitaire on the ticket shelf. When the roller coaster wailed and fell in its terrible avalanche again, she was reminded to speak. "What kind of people go up in roller coasters?" Ralph Banghart worked his cigar a full 30 seconds. "People want to die. That roller coaster's the handiest thing to die in there is." He sat listening to the faint sound of rifle shots from the shooting gallery. "This whole damn carny business is crazy. For instance,